That day I went to the countryside and discovered a wild rabbit spirit growing in my field. I immediately reached out and pounced on her. Only then did I realize she had been bitten by a scorpion. If not treated quickly, she wouldn't live much longer. In a panic, I sucked out all the poison for her, then carried her straight back home. Just as I reached the door, I saw a local thug trying to harass my sister-in-law. I rushed in at once, grabbed a stick, and beat the thug until he ran away. The reason I protected her so fiercely now was because just a day before, I had still been a paralyzed cripple lying in bed. It was my sister-in-law who took care of me all along. That's the only reason the villagers didn't dump me in a mass grave. But deep down, I always felt guilty. That day, as she washed my feet, I even had thoughts of ending my life. Just then, a voice rang out. "Congratulations, host, for activating the exchange system." At the same time, time and space around me froze completely. I thought it was some kind of sorcery. But the next second, the system actually healed my crippled leg. It told me the scroll on the table was a fragment of Eternal Spring technique. All I had to do was exchange 50 points, worth of wild greens to repair and learn it. I immediately told the system to exchange. Green energy surrounded my entire body. I gained the ability to come back from the dead. When I came to, I wanted to tell my sister-in-law the good news. But just then, the village grain collector showed up. He immediately said I hadn't handed in enough grain and demanded I give up my sister-in-law, with the system's power now on my side. I kicked the collector straight out the door. He quickly confessed he was working for the thug, but I ignored him. After avenging my sister-in-law, I told him to get lost. Once they were gone, she finally snapped out of it and asked how my leg had healed so suddenly. I told her everything about the system and promised her that I would give her a life of wealth and comfort. The next morning, I headed into the mountains to look for items I could exchange for points. To my surprise, the system said even wild vegetables everywhere could be exchanged. I happily began collecting points. After some research, I first exchanged a bag of wheat, so we could at least fill our stomachs. Soon half the day passed. I had saved up another large batch of points. As I was thinking what gift to exchange for her, I suddenly heard someone crying for help nearby. I rushed over. The rabbit spirit thought I was going to assault her. She turned pale with fear, but in fact I had spotted a rabbit and a scorpion. Seeing the two wild animals, I quickly exchanged the scorpion for points and decided to take the rabbit home to nourish my sister-in-law. The rabbit spirit was furious at being ignored, mocked me for not seeing her lying on the ground. When I found out she had also been bitten by a scorpion, I immediately checked her wound, then told her. She had about the time it takes one incense stick to burn left to live. The rabbit spirit quickly claimed she was the second daughter of a noble family, and promised a great reward if I saved her. I started sucking out the poison without hesitation, but the toxins couldn't be cleared all at once. So I decided to take her down the mountain and figure it out later. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law was in danger at home. The grain collector came back with the thug while I was away. They threatened that if no grain was handed over today, she would be sold to a brothel. She begged the thug for a few more days, but she didn't know. That was exactly what he wanted. He said if she played with him, he didn't mind waiting a whole month. When she refused, the thug tried to drag her away. At that critical moment, I showed up and drove them off, then quickly comforted her.